Whew, all right. What's up, guys? Dimitri from the Controversial Exchange. Sitting down here trying to figure out some alternatives, ways to communicate with our listeners, and also just to kind of share in the experience of what's going on right now. There's just so much stuff that's happening with the pandemic and isolation and lockdown and furloughs and layoffs and just like unease and uncertainty in the world of behavior analysis that I figured this would be a prime opportunity for me to share my experience while I'm going through it. Maybe some of you can identify with it. Maybe we can kind of support each other. This is going to sound emotionally and spiritually and just, professionally and collegially and just as a community come together and kind of help frame what's going on right now, figure out alternatives, share ideas, and see where we go. I had this idea because some things have happened in the last 24 hours that I think have put me in a unique position to be able to legitimately, earnestly, and sincerely share in the experience and share kind of some thoughts. So a couple things. There's a lot of you guys out there that are going through layoffs and furloughs right now, and it's hard out there. Life's real. It's hard. There's really no other words to describe it. And what I have to say to you is that I'm in there with you guys. We do the podcast, and the podcast is for fun, and the reality is that you can't go into clients' homes to go work with them. A lot of staff are afraid to do it, so they're just taking the time off, and it's making it incredibly difficult for us to engage and want to engage. For me personally, it's one of those things where I do professional development, I do BCBA supervision, I do a lot of that kind of training, and there's no reason why I can't take a step back and chill. So I'm on a furlough right now, and I'm having a lot of swirly emotions about it, and I thought it'd be an opportunity for me to share my experience. So this is what's going on. I'm struggling. This is hard. I don't know about you guys, but as a behavior analyst, I find a lot of my identity, a lot of who I am, a lot of how I find my value, and I think it's also kind of a masculine thing too, as part of my masculine identity, part of my identity as a husband, part of my identity as a competent practitioner, a mentor, all those different, a boss, a director, all those things are things that, give you value, they give you meaning, they help anchor you into finding your place and your sense of that. And with it being kind of washed away pretty quickly and immediately, and not because of anyone's really out of our control, it's kind of one of those things that you have to accept. But that's a lot easier said than done. So before I begin kind of walking through that, I think I want to say a couple things. I have a lot of gratitude going on today, actually. I'm very lucky in that I have a wonderful wife, a beautiful child. I own a home. I have been very careful, and I have a savings, and I'm lucky that I have access to benefits that will support me through this process. Hopefully, actually not hopefully, they will support me through this process. I have amazing supportive colleagues and people I've met, mentees that have reached out, that are still trugging along, doing their best to make lemonade out of lemons. And those are all things that, aside from being grateful for, I just feel this certain just ease about that actually lessens the blow and the insecurity. Now, with that being said, there's been some other stuff going on though the last 24 hours that I think have been difficult. I struggled sleeping last night. I'm not a great sleeper as it begins with, and honestly, it was weird. I woke up randomly at 2:30 and kind of had a moment, and I'm not gonna call it a panic attack because I don't think that's what it was, but I do think that I experienced some discomfort, man. I was having some emotionality about it. I was having some fear. I was having some anxiety, and it washed over me in the dead of my sleep and woke me out of it. And I was kind of up and, kind of went out in the living room and kind of sat and stared at the wall a little bit and had to sit down and reassess. And that was really hard. It was pretty intense, and that's been vacillating a lot. So a lot of you out there might be experiencing some of this emotional roller coaster ride. You got ups, you got downs, you got lefts, you got rights, you got swings. You're trying to make the best of it. You're trying to keep chugging along. And it's not necessarily going great. Here's what I'm going to tell you. I'm not going to give false senses of positivity and that kind of thing, because that's not who I am, and that's not what I think this is about. What I'm really trying to do is be completely transparent, open, honest, radical honesty philosophically. I think we've talked about that on the podcast. And that's sincerely my held belief that radical honesty is the best way to live your life. So that's what I'm going to do with you. So let's just talk about kind of what I've been doing the last 6-7 hours to kind of work through that, kind of what's been going on. I've been latching on along to my kid the last 6 or 7 hours and going and spending time with him and finding joy with him. I got some great advice. I called my mom of all people, and I mean, she's, my confidant, and she's like, she gave me advice to go just spend some time with my baby, and holding him and hugging him, and seeing the joy that he experiences just from living. It just changed. It helped put things into perspective. And it helped me find the gratitude that I was struggling to latch onto, like for real. Like intellectually I knew it, but emotionally it wasn't connecting. And just holding him and playing with him and crawling on the floor and kind of feeling a little bit of a relief, actually, that I don't have to have the stress of feeling like I'm on call to do a job that, is not necessarily accomplishing anything right now. And the guilt and the frustration that goes with that, especially when you're someone like me who's on the move all the time, who's an action-oriented person, who needs to get things done, who, like, I'm compulsive, like I'm compelled. It's ADHD's, I don't know the word. It's I have a certain degree of intensity about me, and I need those things to feel stimulated and to feel my value and my worth, and that was hard, and he helped me with that. So my advice, or what I want to say to you, is a couple things. If this is something you find value in, follow it. Continue to subscribe to the podcast. We're going to keep doing that for everybody. And now I have some additional time, actually, to really invest more into it than I have been in the last few months. So look out for a lot more frequent episodes, or just a lot more voluminous amounts of episodes. Look for some workshops we want to run. That's going to be happening. I want to put together a little BCBA support group with folks. And run some virtual meetings with people where we can just get together and maybe do some small group just conversations about how we're doing and get some support and put that out there and figure out a way to like create community through this process. Shout out Merrill Winston for being a real friend and a confidant. Ryan O'Donnell, you're my boy. These are just the ways that things go, I think, and we're finding ourselves on the precipice of a lot of opportunity, in my opinion. And I know that seems like faux optimism. So I'm just going to be very straightforward with you and say this, is that eventually when the infectious part of this is over, and we're going to have to go back to work, and that's going to look probably a lot different. I think it's pretty insane and wrong to think that it's not. But I think that all the moves that you make now, how you spend this time that you have, what you do with those hours matters. And it matters for every reason possible. It matters for what you do to invest in yourself, for your own development. And I don't mean just professionally and behavior analytically. I mean spiritually, man. Like, find yourself. This is where it's like, when you lose something that anchors you and you tie so much of your identity to it, I think it creates this situation where you get lazy about confronting who you are, what you want, and pursuing those things. It's this thing where I've been playing with this idea of dulling adulthood, dulling the dreams of your childhood. There's this great talk that God, I can't remember the guy. He's an inspiration speaker. He's a really great motivational speaker, but Les Brown. And he talks about your dreams being like, all your dreams being like children, and you encountering them on your deathbed, and like them looking at you, and you say, them pleading with you and telling you, dying with you and saying, you were the only one that could have brought us to life. You were the only one that could have made us manifest in this reality. And I know that a lot of this seems kind of hokey and metaphysical, but I believe it. I think it's real. I think that we do control those things in a certain sense, where if we invest the time into our development and we put the reps in, we put the trials, man. Develop your history. Contact your consequences. Shape your own behavior. Set your environment to occasion particular responses, right? If we want to be precise about the language you're using, but that's just not how normal people talk. So we're going to talk normal. Those things are how you get to that point, and you can do it. Those are things you can do, and those are things that can dictate your emotional state, dictate your emotional stability, and also dictate the harshness of the everyday challenges that you're going to encounter, because it's not going to be easy. but nothing is. Diamonds are made from pressure. That's how it goes. So I'm seeing this as my opportunity to really shine. I'm seeing this as an opportunity to invest in myself. I'm seeing this as an opportunity to really set the stage for the future that I've been designing and I've been preparing for and I've been programming to have. And because of limited hours in the day and commitment to outside things, I haven't been able to do that. So this is where it comes. This is the moment. And this is the first step, which is just me nakedly kind of opening myself up to the camera and just telling you what I'm doing, who I am, and what I'm trying to strive for. I hope that at the end of this that you come along with me and you do something for you too, because I think this is a thing where we can build some community and help each other out. The world doesn't have to be divided in every semblance of the world. We're so divided right now in every sense and every aspect of our lives, and this is a thing where we can come together and help each other out. So I'm here for you. You're my community. You're my constituency. You're my support system. You're my people. And if you need something from me, that's how we'll do it. And I look forward to seeing you throughout this whole thing. I hope that this is a thing that you find value in, and I hope it's a thing that enriches you. So thank you very much, and I'll see you then. Bye.